Welcome to this edition of SKNIS Week in Review, a program highlighting the top stories of the work of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis for the past week. Here's a look at some of the highlights for the week of March 26th to April 1st, 2021. CMO laws update on vaccination rollout program, youth volunteers complete 8 weeks creative boot camp, Golden Years Club to be reintroduced, and adjustments to East Bus Line Terminal to better accommodate bus drivers. I am your presenter, Sharima Matthew. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws updated the general public on the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccination program.
St. Kitts and Nevis, we would have launched our COVID-19 vaccination program on Monday, February the 22nd. That's 5.5 weeks ago. And in that time period, we would have administered, and this is based on the data that just came in a few minutes ago. And so up to yesterday, the number of doses administered, 8,984. But as at this afternoon, 4:30, we would have administered 9,241 doses in the Federation. So in other words, we have reached 27.9% of our target population.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws. 10 youth volunteers graduated from the 2021 Creative Boot Camp during a ceremony held at the Kona Caribbean Conference Center. Minister of Youth Empowerment, the Honorable John L. Powell, congratulated the participants for their creativity, hard work, and dedication during the 8-week course and presented them with a graduate certificate at the closing ceremony.
What I don't want is for this to just be an exercise, something you did, and you put the certificates aside. Hopefully this is something that you can use to go forward and actually use the things you've learned to do more and bigger things, to get a job and put some money in your pockets, to really highlight the talents that you have within yourselves.
The young people are members of the Volunteer Corps media team. They work closely with the Department of Youth Empowerment, promoting programs and activities of the department and the Corps. The topics covered during the boot camp included video recording and editing, photography, social media, copywriting, and more. Officials within the Department of Community Development and Social Services are focused on improving the negative attitudes that some young people have towards seniors. On this week's edition of Working for You, Oslin Ward Harris, the director of the department, said that youth are often impatient when dealing with older people.
I think we need to target that group and educate them on the importance of ensuring that older persons are treated in a most dignified way. That is extremely important and of concern to us as a department.
Hanif Charles, Community Development Officer, stated that some youth perceive that seniors have nothing to offer and cannot educate them, as information can be readily accessed on the internet. He indicated that intergenerational mixing is one intervention strategy that the department is looking to improve relations and perceptions. Seniors in St. Kitts will be given the opportunity to stay active, mingle with each other, interact with the younger generation, and pass on their knowledge when the Department of Community Development and Social Services reintroduces the Golden Years Club. Hanif Charles, Community Development Officer and Secretary on the Seniors Enrichment Program Committee, said that it is extremely important to have the Golden Years Club re-established in the Federation.
What we realize is the importance of having the seniors going out to prevent a lot of the issues that we have spoken about earlier in terms of isolation and the psychosocial issues and all of this. And we really want our seniors to go out, associate and mingle with each other. And so the re-establishment of the Golden Years Club is one of the projects that we are working on this year.
The Golden Years Club was established in St. Paul's in 2004 as a recreational group and training program for older persons. Funded by the Canadian Caribbean Initiative, the Golden Years Club provided seniors with the opportunity to socialize and partake in exercise classes and stimulating activities such as arts and craft, healthy meal preparation, and basic computer classes. After the St. Paul's group was established, a second club was formed in Keyon in 2006, incorporating and training seniors in that community, as well as several older persons who had been made redundant by the closure of the sugar factory in 2005. The Ministry of Transport is currently renovating the East Bus Line Terminal to accommodate bus drivers who have been experiencing some difficulty with the space provided to maneuver their vehicles. Chief Engineer at the Public Works Department, George Gilbert, explained that due to suppliers bringing in new buses which are much longer than the usual size, drivers are experiencing some challenges in maneuvering the curb in the terminal. He noted that the curbs are being adjusted to make the station more user-friendly. Minister with responsibility for transport, the Honorable Lindsay Grant, said that the government listened and acted on the concerns of the drivers.
As you know, with everything, there are some shortcomings at times. And so although we provide a first-class facility, once we began to use the facility, we recognized that certain adjustments had to be made over time. And the unity government, we listened to our constituents. And the bus community of the East Bus Line said to us that there were some deficiencies, and deficiencies that we ought to correct. And so that's why we're here this afternoon, to correct two of the deficiencies that they have been complaining about.
Minister with responsibility for transport, the Honorable Lindsay Grant. The Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, has long maintained that the construction sector will be one of the key sectors that will help rebuild the economy of the Twin Island Federation post-COVID-19. Earlier this week, the Honorable Prime Minister saw evidence of this firsthand when he visited the Hillsborough Suites and Residences located at Matinley Farm, Sunset Reef, St. Kitts, situated at Palmetto Point, Trinity, and the Royal St. Kitts Hotel, where construction work is currently ongoing. While addressing the media during his tour of Hillsborough Suites and Residences, Prime Minister Harris said he was particularly pleased with the number of young tradesmen employed during the construction phase of the project. Hillsborough Suites and Residences, Sunset Reef, St. Kitts, located at Palmetto Point, Trinity, and the Cove by the Royal St. Kitts Hotel are all expected to be completed this year. The Ministry of Sustainable Development hosted a COVID-19 vaccine information session earlier this week at the Department of Statistics, and several staff members were vaccinated. The session was conducted by National HIV/AIDS Program Coordinator and Health Educator, Dr. Matthias Offray, and the COVID-19 vaccination clinic was staged at the department's boardroom immediately after the information session. Elretha Simpson-Brown, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sustainable Development, was among one of the first to take the vaccine. She expressed thanks to Dr. Offray for a job well done and noted that the session was timely and it was important for staff to get vaccinated and lead by example.
Ministry of Sustainable Development, as the name says, we are the ministry that is mandated by the government to ensure that we are able to exist and thrive as a people in this environment, and also to ensure that we make it safe for future generations, which means that we deal with sustainability. So we have to show an example. And I just want to say that we had a very good session this morning. Before that, we would have met as a team, and all of the directors were tasked to go back and speak to their staff. This was done successfully, and because of that, we were able to meet together as one ministry, get all the information, ask all the questions that we have, and get ourselves vaccinated.
Mrs. Simpson Brown applauded all who have been vaccinated and encouraged those who are yet to be vaccinated to do so for the safety of their families, friends, colleagues, and themselves. She added that, and I quote, "The sooner all of us are able to do this, get vaccinated, the sooner we can open back up our country to economic activity." End of quote. Thanks for viewing SKNIS Week in Review. I am Sherima Matthew. See you next week as we continue to update you, the general public, on what's happening in and around the Federation.